Okay, aloha lahui Hawaii. Welcome everyone. I'm very happy that all of you could make it tonight. We're gonna get started. We did our pule already. And then help yourselves to some more food. There's lots, so you can keep going back and help yourself. So I'm just gonna go over, oh, and by the way, if you guys don't know, I'm Healani Sonoda Pale. I'm the Kalahui Hawaii Political Action Committee Chair. And we were the ones that organized, this is kind of a 2-day event. So tomorrow we're gonna go more into the arenas of sovereignty, and we're gonna talk more about other issues, including Mauna Kea. We're very blessed to have Ke Aloha Piscota with us this weekend. And I just want to mahalo all of the Kalahui citizens that flew in from the outer islands for this event. We're very happy, and all of our partners in our community, Kuli Ke Kako, for coming in all the way from Waianae and Nanakuli. Welcome. So we're gonna just go over the agenda real fast, what we're gonna talk about. So we did our pule, we did our welcome. We're not gonna go over discussion kuleana, but the part of discussion, I think, when we get to the end part, is just, I think the main thing would be ho'ihi, respect, as always. And I think I don't need to tell anybody here that, because I know everyone pretty well here. And I want to introduce the committee that actually planned tonight, and then tomorrow we have a whole day full of educational workshops. So I want to introduce Rebecca Luke, who's in the back with the shirts. She's our treasurer, and she takes care of our money. She used to be the director of Haleku'ai. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was a cooperative where Hawaiians could sell their goods at a store, and it was a real success. So we're very, very lucky to have her with us. Auntie Kapu, she's in the kitchen. She's our kupuna. She's making the cake. She's frosting the cake right now. So Auntie Kapu Lambert has been an old timer with Kalahui Hawaii for many, many years. And then we have Lehua Kinilau. She is our last elected Kia Aina, and she's also, she works at DHHL now, and she's an attorney, so she's also on our committee. And Shane Pale, my husband right here, he's our graphic designer for Kalahui. He's the graphic designer for Lahui in general. So he does a lot for other community organizations, and yeah, he designed the shirt too. And then Iolani Lambert, right there with the Ku'e black shirt by the water. She's Auntie Kapu's daughter, and she's also on our committee. She's been very instrumental in helping to plan this as well. She got us this beautiful area, this beautiful site. Did I miss anybody? Oh, and Auntie Tori in the back there. We're very lucky to have her. She's the one that helped us to get this site as well. And there's one more committee member who's not here. Her name is Nani Omarad. She's on her way. She's from Papakolea, and she's been very significant as well with our work. So we are the ones that basically planned tonight and tomorrow. So we hope that you will come tomorrow as well, and you're welcome. We have lots of room here, so we have overnight accommodations as well, so you can spend the night. So we're just going to review the agenda. And, how do you guys like the dinner, by the way? Okay, right on. So that we can thank our Moloka'i Ohana who flew in and then they have a special dinner tomorrow night, so don't miss that. They brought in fish from Moloka'i. So we're gonna start off with first of all, always Ke Akua, right? We always thank Ke Akua for everything, for the life and the breath that we breathe every day, and for bringing us here and for bringing us together. And I think for all of us that's in the movement, that's out there advocating for Kanaka Maoli, we are always, it's not just about us, it's always about the work that those before us did. And that's what we want to start with, is honoring those that came before us and have gone. and honor their work as well. So Kalahui Hawaii has been around since about 1987. And so we've had a lot of kupuna come and go and a lot of citizens. We were the largest organization at one time with 20,000 citizens. And we still, have those roles, but this weekend is important in terms of what's the next steps. What are we going to do next? But as Kalahui Hawaii Political Action Committee, we have been doing some of the work. So we want to start off with remembering our kupuna. So honoring those Kalahui Hawaii citizens that are no longer with us, who paved the way for us. So Auntie Kamaka Hukilani von Alfenhofen, Uncle Alika Lambert, Kaiulani's dad, Auntie Moani Keala Kaka, Papa Henry Awai, Auntie Havana McLafferty, Auntie Cookie Tabag, Auntie Vienna Nahinu, Uncle Creighton Mattoon, who's from Ko'olauloa as well, Auntie Clara Kakalia, Auntie Pele Hanoa. Okay, and then I'm sorry, Momi, but I miss Auntie. She passed away as well. So, Auntie Lena Ho'ohuli, I'm sorry, didn't put her, but she was also a Kalahui citizen. That was Uncle Black's wife. Sorry. So these kupuna are the ones that had the vision and the site to form Kalahui way back in the 80s. And I don't want to throw away their work that they've done and all of the groundwork that they've built. And so I think, and what they've built for us, the Constitution, the 4 arenas of sovereignty, all of that is really good documents that help direct us and inform us as we go out there and advocate for Kanaka Maoli. Okay, about KPAC, Kalahui Hawaii Political Action Committee is a Hawaiian political watchdog organization that was formed to monitor legislation that impacts us as Kanaka Maoli and basically watch over our national lands, which consist of the Hawaiian Kingdom Crown and government lands. The KPAC is a national committee of Kalahui Hawaii, an Oiwi initiative for Hawaiian self-determination formed by and for Kanaka Maoli without the interference of state or federal governments or agencies. So that was the main thing, was we were grassroots. We came from, it was 200 Hawaiians that wrote our Constitution. So we came from the Kanaka. We didn't come from a government. It wasn't initiated by the state of Hawaii. It wasn't initiated by the federal government. And we always maintained that, because we stand for the Kanaka always. KPAC operates within the 2 arenas of sovereignty. And so on the walls over there and by the coffee, we have the 4 arenas of sovereignty that that Kalahui Hawaii operates in. And we operate in arena number 1, which is native to native, where we activating citizens, creating free educational materials, planning workshops, and working with other community organizations in that arena. So that's arena number 1. Arena number 2, native to nation state, where we advocate and engage at the state, county, and federal levels. So this is one thing that we do a lot of. We're at the legislature, we're at the county level, we're even at OHA, and we're we haven't really advocated too much recently on the federal level, but we have been writing letters to the Department of Interior about the rule. So that's pretty much our advocation on that level. The purpose of Kalahui Hawaii Political Action Committee is to participate to the greatest extent in all state U.S. processes promoting the national platform of Kalahui Hawaii, which includes the returns of lands to Kanaka Maoli, the termination of wardship, advocating for the end of abuses of Kanaka Maoli in our lands, and raising public consciousness about the status of the Kanaka Maoli peoples in our own homeland. So that is our purpose. And I don't know if you guys know, but we are classified as wards of the state, along with orphaned and mentally incapacitated individuals. So we're not even real human beings in the state's eyes. 2016 legislative review. So we were reconvened in December 2015 after a meeting of Kalahui Kia Aina and leaders. We all agreed that we're going to reconvene KPAC because we saw that there was a need for Hawaiians to be at the legislature, especially, and advocating for Kanaka there. So we reconvened in December of 2015. And the first year, we submitted 18 written testimonies on 13 bills, and 70% of the bills were in regards to the disposition of Hawaiian Kingdom Crown and government lands and their revenue. We printed 7,000 2016 Kohopono legislative report cards, brochures, and we distributed to Hawaiian homeland communities and the general public across the archipelago. And we did that with zero federal and state monies. We did that just with our own monies that we raised ourselves. So that was our first year. And in your packets, you have the 2016 legislative report card in there. And what we did was we gave grades to the legislators, all legislators, and to the OHA trustees. So when you look at the report card, you're gonna see a lot of Fs, because what that means is they're voting against the interest of Kanaka Maoli. If they have an A, they voted in the interest of Kanaka Maoli. And if they had a C, that means that they were on the borderline, right? So they voted yes or no with reservations. So that's in your packets. So then we started on 2017 legislative goals. So the main goal we wanted to do was repeal Act 195. That was the main one. To raise awareness and exercise self-determination as defined by the UN by proposing a bill that would repeal Act 195, which creates a state-initiated process to undermine the human rights of Kanaka Maoli. So what Act 195, and we're going to talk about that more tomorrow and then have a little bit more discussion on that. But Act 195 basically started the Na'iaupuni fiasco, Kana'i Olovalu, and ending with the Department of Interior rule that has passed and basically gives Hawaiians nothing. It's a sellout. It's a state-initiated plan to undermine our rights to self-determination and to basically, once and for all, do away with all Hawaiian claims to Crown and government lands. That's basically what it was. So that was our big thing, and that came out of the legislature. Engage and train. The second one is engage and train, empower Kanaka Maoli in the Hawaii state legislative process. So we did encourage people to go to trainings. DHHL held trainings on how to navigate the legislature. Raise awareness of Aloha Aina, which encompasses sustainability, demilitarization, climate change, natural resource management at the state legislative and community levels. So one of the issues we dealt with this past legislative session was Red Hill, which is basically the water supply for 70% of the island. And the military has oil tanks that are right above our water supply that are leaking. So that was one of the main things that we looked at too. The other goal was to promote the normalization of Hawaiian language. So we actually were trying to be proactive. So we tried to pass a bill to repeal Act 195. That didn't fly with the legislature. So we were able to introduce two other bills. One bill was to make Hawaiian mandatory in all public acts and transactions. So if you get something in English, you can also get it in Hawaiian. If you get a ballot in English, you can get a ballot in Hawaiian. If you get an application for a state job in English, you can get it in Hawaiian, so forth. And that is to raise the level of our language. The other, that didn't pass, but it's still alive. So it can still move in 2018. The other bill is in your packet, and this one was actually a resolution that Rebecca Luke drafted, and what it does is it encourages private schools. I think we have over 100 private schools in the state of Hawaii to offer Hawaiian language in their curriculum. And that passed the House. So that resol was sent to all 100, and I think it was 25 private schools throughout Hawaii. And then the last one was to continue to educate Kanaka Maoli and the general public on legislation that impacts Kanaka Maoli. So that's what we did all year last legislative session. Okay? So for 2017, KPAC submitted 34 written testimonies on 24 measures at the Hawaii State Legislature in 2017, and successfully drafted and helped pass House Resolution 16 urging Hawaii's private schools to offer Hawaiian language curriculum. And that resol was introduced by a non-Kanaka Maoli, if you can believe that. Okay, and so these are a couple of the campaigns we did on social media. And we got hundreds of testimonies in for our bills that we introduced, that we actually helped draft and were introduced by the legislators. And the bills were about raising the status of our Olelo Hawaii, because our keiki, and I think one of the reasons why we focused on that was because we have thousands of keiki that are graduating from Hawaiian immersion. Hawaiian is like their first language. They were in Hawaiian language from preschool all the way to 12th grade. And so we focused on that because, yes, they can speak Hawaiian, yes, they can write in Hawaiian, but they're not able to do business in Hawaiian. And this is Hawaii, right? And Hawaii is legal language of the state of Hawaii, according to the Constitution, the state constitution. So these are our report cards, and our report cards are all about mana to the people. Power to the people, informing, so that when people go out and vote, they can make better and informed choices when they go out there. This bill is a bill, House Bill 1297, this past legislative session, was a sovereignty bill. And basically, this pissed off a lot of people. In 24 hours, when we found out that this bill had a hearing, we had over 200 testimonies that came in against this bill. And this bill, what it does is it says that we give up basically our rights and entitlements. The state supports the Department of Interior rule, which is basically like finally and once and for all incorporating Hawaiians into America and taking away our rights to our lands. So this one was a great victory because in 24 hours we killed it. This bill.
What was the guy's name? Remember that name.
I know. It's like, why is the state legislature concerned about sovereignty, right? So anyway, but now I can see why, because of land. The other bill, this was a terrible bill, Senate Bill 895, and this bill criminalizes Hawaiians for trespassing. So where trespassing was a misdemeanor before, now if you trespass onto any developed or undeveloped state lands, you can get up to 60 days in jail. So, and that it passed, it got signed. We call this, yeah, this is the Mauna Kea bill right here. This is the bill they're going to use against the Mauna Kea Kia'i when they go up against TMT up on the Mauna. So this bill, we were really concerned. This had hundreds of testimonies as well. They still passed it. This was Governor Ige's part of his package for the legislature. So we're really concerned about this bill, but who voted for this bill, either for or against this bill, tells you really who's for and who's actually who's a supporter of Kanaka Maoli. So there were Hawaiians that that voted against it on the floor, but it did pass with the majority. One of the other issues that we're dealing with as well as KPAC is the zero short-term rental homes. So short-term rental homes, AKA B&B, Airbnb, is a real problem in a lot of communities. And in Molokai, that's one of the biggest problems that they have. So Shane, one of our members was able to bring a contested case against the Molokai Planning Commission. Against the permitter, yeah. Permit applicant. So that's some of our work on the county level. Okay, so that's kind of like the whole scope of what we've been doing this past couple years as Kalahui Hawaii Political Action Committee. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of history. And again, we stand on the platform of Kalahui because they do have a really good platform in terms of Hawaiian rights and self-determination. Thank you. And we also, one of the things we want to really encourage, and we have been encouraging in the community, is for Kanaka Maoli to vote. And even if you are a Hawaiian patriot, and even if, I believe that we are occupied. I mean, a lot of us do, all of our Kanaka that are out there in the community, but we still got to vote because they're doing damage. They're doing damage. Aloha Aina patriots who voted. So I want to just share with you some of the Aloha Aina patriots, people who were loyal to our queen, loyal to the Hawaiian kingdom, who voted when Hawaii became part of the U.S. territory, illegally or not really. Anyway, so I want to just mention three of them. William Punohu Aveoveo Ulaokalani White. He was a Hawaiian patriot. He was a big supporter of the Queen. He was the one that tried to introduce that constitution that the Queen tried to promulgate after the Bayonet Constitution, and the one that the white sugar planters didn't want. So he was a huge supporter. He was a big ally of the Queen in the Hawaiian Kingdom legislature, and he was a big leader when Hawaii became part of the U.S. Hawaiians got the vote. When we were illegally annexed into the U.S., Hawaiians were able to vote. Hawaiians were the majority in Hawaii. And so what happened was, Hui Aloha Aina, Hui Kalai Aina, these are all patriotic groups that were against annexation during the turn of the century, between the 1800s and the 1900s. What they did was they galvanized in like less than a year, and they went and formed the Home Rule Party. It's a political party, and they got pretty much a lot of the Hawaiians on board with this party. So it was a third party. They weren't part of the Democratic Party. They weren't part of the Republican Party. They made their own party, and this party was supported by Queen Liliuokalani. And she told them, she endorsed this party, and she told them, go out there and be the leaders. Robert Kalani Hiapo Wilcox, who led a rebellion, who actually led an armed rebellion. And I mean, he had some issues with Queen Liliuokalani, but there's a controversy with him, but he was a patriot. He was sent to Europe by the King Kalakaua to study. So he was also a leader of the Home Rule Party, and he was the first elected delegate to the U.S. Congress. James Kaulia, Ke'au Iluna Kaulia. He is the one that said, therefore, do not be afraid, remain steadfast in your love for the land, and be of one mind. Forever protest the annexation of Hawaii to America until the very last aloha aina. He's the one that said these very powerful words. And he voted. He was part of the Home Rule Party. So I just wanted to kind of give this history a little bit, that you can be a patriot, but you can still vote. And if you want to vote under duress, because that's what I'm doing, I have no choice. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you folks. Okay, why we need to make sure our leo and voices are heard, vote, and engage. Okay, voting is a nonviolent means, a legal means of advocating for the return of the archipelago to the Hawaiian people and our nation, and the protection of our sacred sites, water, and human rights. It is the only, for some of us, it's the only legal means we have at this point. The other means is violence, and Kalahui Hawaii has always been about nonviolence and disarmament. We've been always dedicated to that philosophy. So it is a means for us. It's something that we have that we can use. The next one is we will be following in the footsteps of the past patriots of the Hawaiian Kingdom, like White Kaulia, who voted and organized politically with the support of the Queen. The third, Act 195. Act 195, the worst thing to happen to Hawaiians in decades, came out of the state legislature. Act 195 is basically what I've been fighting for the last 3 years. What came out of there, Kana'iolo Valu, Na'iau Puni, and the DOI rule. So Act 195 and the Department of Interior rule had its beginnings in the Hawaii State Legislature. And now we have a rule that's been passed by the Department of Interior in the US to reestablish a government-to-government relationship with the Native Hawaiian community, which provides no lands except kaho'olawe, no reparations for the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom, and takes 1 million acres of stolen Hawaiian lands held by the feds off the table, as well as the Northwestern Hawaiian Islands. So it gives us nothing. We have the right to sue, but the US has immunity. We don't get anything. It's the worst. It's one of the worst things to happen to us. So that's why I feel that we really got to be at the ledge. So just sharing some of my mana'o. Okay, so this is some of our aloha aina at the ledge. Kiana Marshall, who was the one that really pushed that bill to make Hawaiian on the same level as English in Hawaii. So make it mandatory for all public acts and transactions to be in both Hawaiian and English. She was very instrumental. She is a Kalahui citizen, and then Kaukaohu and Leimana, who is not Kalahui citizens, but we work with them, and they're, we love working with them. They always come out in support of our Kanaka. So. Okay, and then I just want to say mahalo to our sponsors, Kim Koko Fund for Justice of the Iwamoto Family Foundation, PAC Foundation, and Hawaii People's Fund. They're the ones that paid for the food. So that pretty much ends my part of the presentation. Anybody got questions or anything about anything I said? Okay, so Lehua is going to talk about a little bit about the legislative process and what we can do and how to navigate. And then at the end of it, we want to have a discussion on the priorities. What do you guys want? What do you think should be the priorities of Kalahui Hawaii Political Action Committee in the 2018 session? Now, 2018 is an election year. The governor's race is up. There's the Oha Oahu trustee is up. The Oha Maui trustee is up. The at-large trustees are up, and half of the legislature. So it's an important election, so we want to talk about that too. But what are some of the priorities you want us to focus on in this next legislative session? So we want to kuka about that a little bit after Lehua does her presentation. Okay, thanks.